From the Woodshed, a casual conversation with Chase Morrill and Ryan Eldridge from Kennebec Cabin Company, the team that inspired the hit show Maine Cabin Masters. From the Woodshed is brought to you by Nelma, see the stamp, trust the quality. By Hero Media Arts, connecting small business with new customers. And by Hammond Lumber, your building project partner. Now, from the Woodshed Studios at KCC headquarters in Manchester, Maine, it's Chase and Ryan.
From the Woodshed, I'm Chase Morrill. With me, as always, Ryan Eldridge.
Hi, everybody.
And Maggie Morrill.
Hi.
We're here to talk about all things Maine, all things Maine cabins, and all things Maine cabin related. And we are on point today with Lakepoint Real Estate.
Oh, nice one.
Our guest is Stephanie Gardner, and she is a broker and realtor, and we've got a new partnership with them, so we're excited to talk about that. You can find out more about us at KennebeCCabinCompany.com, MaineCabinMasters.com, our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube pages. Check out our online store at shop.KennebeCCabinCompany.com for great merchandise. And we always want to thank our sponsors, Nelma, Nelma.org, EasternWhitePine.org, SprucePineFir.org, HeroMediaArts.com, and Hammond Lumber Company, the official building material supplier of Kennebec Cabin Company.
Coming out of the gates with energy today, Maggie. Don't you think? We're making up for last week.
It's Friday. The weather's turned for the better. There's no more snow.
I was embarrassed last week. I mean, I felt I had no energy. Like, it was just, I was spent mentally, more mentally than anything, but that was a rough one.
Hey,
we came out of it at the end.
They see us at our best. They see us at our worst.
I was great last week.
You're always great.
You carried the weight.
Yeah, so a little bit of snow this week just to throw us a curveball.
I woke up yesterday and it's white out there. I'm like, what the heck?
So, yeah, it was white. It was
windy.
Nasty. It just made everything greasy. A Hammond lumber truck got stuck.
The thing got mired.
It was so funny because somebody put truck nuts on my truck.
Oh,
I walked out in the parking lot, and there's this set of red truck nuts on my truck.
Those are the nuts that hang from your reset.
I'm like, who did this? Who did this? I was like, I'm questioning all the guys, all this stuff.
At the job site?
Just, asking people. They're like, we didn't do it. Turns out it was Max and Sam Saunders.
Yeah. So you've been driving around like that forever.
Yeah. They 3D printed them, and they put them on. They padlocked them onto my tow hitch.
That is so awesome.
But anyway, so I was at the job site, and the guys were making fun of me. But then the Hammond lumber truck was stuck. Jedi started pulling them out. Couldn't get them out. I'm like, watch this. My truck's got nuts. Go on. Went there. Hooked onto the front of Jedi's truck. Popped it right out of the mud. So.
Do you have the GMC, the Chevy, or the Mercedes?
Oh, no, not the Mercedes. So thank you to Max and Sam.
Nice job, guys. My truck's got nuts.
They got me. Good.
And they were the same color as Hammond Lumber, huh?
Yeah. And then that same day, I was at Hatch Hill. I hadn't been there in a while.
Oh, it's filling up fast.
So I didn't realize you now have to pull up to the left. So I went right, and I'm driving up, and I'm like going through this giant trash valley, like, driving up, it looks like it's going to cave in on me. It's super soupy, flying up there. And then I get to the top, I'm like, oh, this isn't the road anymore.
That's the worst place to go after it rains.
Yeah.
Like, your truck smells like it. That mud gets up there.
Yeah.
At least in the winter, it freezes solid. It's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, it was greasy. But.
I want to know what they're going to do next. I always ask the ladies down there.
Yeah.
They don't know.
I saw Gail. Gave her a few koozies, so.
We got some big Cabin Masters fans there.
We love you, Gail. We love you, Maggie.
Yeah, we love them all. Then they're from the same side of the tracks as you guys. They tell me some old stories. Every once in a while, I get a tidbit about your father and your aunt from the Dump Ladies.
Stevens Road and Churchill Road.
Yeah, representing.
But yeah, cabins are going along nicely.
We're in that weird time of the year. It's like Groundhog Day. It's like you forget how long spring is. And you get some nice days, but I mean, it's still pretty much been cold out.
Yeah.
And the sun's coming up earlier, but the grass has been like that shade of green forever. Like it kind of got green and stopped. Like, just it seems like time just stretches out weather-wise.
Yep. But the magnolias were blooming. They were beautiful. The snow kind of browned them up a little bit, but
I saw some mosquitoes, a couple black flies.
Yep.
And the ticks. Ticks are out bad.
Yes.
But I got my Ranger Ready potion.
Have you used it yet?
Oh yeah, I'm putting some of the spray on my clothes and the other stuff.
I've been telling people about it, but I haven't used it, so I don't know. I can't. They asked me, does it work? I haven't really had a answer yet. I'm getting tangled in these cords.
This was the first week when I was actually working on the coast, and I felt like I left there yesterday, and it was actually warmer there than it was inland. I think the wind was just whipping from the north.
Yeah. Well, typically that's why we start down there because there could be. Could be snow still.
The last couple seasons, though, it hasn't really mattered. But the first couple seasons that we were buried up here, we'd go down there because the coast doesn't get as much snow.
Yeah. Who knows?
We've been doing it that long that we're seeing weather cycles. Who would have thought that?
Definitely not me.
We still got a couple big piles of dirt outside.
Yep.
I'm learning so many life lessons. Like, we did everything we can to get that rush, and then it's always something.
Yep. Hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait.
It's always something. You got to have patience in the building industry. Pretty much any industry.
Yeah, I got to get some patience.
Have patience.
It's great. Guns N' Roses song. Do you know it, Maggie?
No.
Do you know who Guns N' Roses is?
Yeah.
I'm impressed. Nice.
Yep. And Maggie's back to school next week. It's been fun having Gavin at our house.
Are you guys back, or?
I mean, we're doing the same thing we were doing before, which is like.
What does vacation feel like when you're kind of on a weird school?
Just normal, I guess. I don't know.
It's really hard to find stuff to do.
Oh, I agree. You know what I was thinking about? We should be planning, like, where are we going to go next?
Right.
We missed one of our, it's been that long.
I want to go to Greece.
Dad,
I've
you
been
can't steal Mom's idea.
I've been reading this.
That's Mom's idea. You can't steal it.
I've been reading this outrageous book, and it talks all about, like, Greek heritage and all that stuff and how it ties into Christianity. So.
Oh, God. Anyways. No,
I won't get into that. That's it.
I want to go on a European ski vacation. Ashley, where do you guys want to go? Ashley wants to go to Peru.
I don't really know. I don't know.
We'll be lucky if we can get to Canada.
Yeah.
You could close your eyes and go to Rustic County and pretend you're there.
They've got to get Montreal in October.
Oh,
Yeah. If it's not canceled. But
Harry Styles?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope.
Yeah.
Dave Matthews Band just announced their tour.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
All right. So.
But people have been announcing tours, then stopping, and then other bands announce them. It's kind of weird. And then, like, on the Fish, all the Fish people are, like, computer geeks, so they're always arguing. They're going to go on tour, like, us nonstop. Like, yeah, they're going to go. No, they're not going to go. This venue printed tickets. This venue didn't, like.
But how do you think they're going to deal with, like, concerts and that have already been scheduled? Like, do you think they'll have to do 2 dates?
Well, I bought my tickets for last summer. We bought in 2019, and you could choose to roll them over.
Yeah.
And we decided to do that. So they're supposed to be good for this summer, but they're not going to be. So now the tickets are good. They're going to be good for next summer. But what if, like you said, what if some venues come back at 60%?
Yeah. What if you fill a stadium, you've sold out, then you have to.
How do they pick?
Yeah, I don't know.
Talk about a lot of pissed off people.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't want to piss off those Harry Styles fans.
Oh, Jesus, no. I've done it a couple of times. I can tell you, do not do it.
All right. Let's be done.
All right.
Last night was the season finale of new episodes, but we are joined by our season finale camp owners, Dave and Maria Emmett.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
Everyone.
You look like you're somewhere
All right,
warm.
we're great.
You are down in Fort Myers, Florida.
Yes, we are.
Nice.
Beautiful weather down here, and I'm sure it's getting that way up there too.
Yeah,
It's trying. It's trying.
It's
Trying.
Yeah.
Well, it's beautiful down here.
Well, by the time we get up there in about another 4 weeks or so, we'll bring some of it with us.
Perfect. So what did you think of the episode?
It was totally hilarious. I mean,
We're still laughing about it.
yeah. In fact, we just got done watching. We just got done rewatching it, and it was just as funny the second time as the first.
Okay.
So,
A lot of things that we didn't catch the first time, we caught it the second time.
yeah. So, a lot of questions about the bathrooms, the colored cabinets, and frogs, and stuff like that. I have to say one thing though, Ryan. My brother-in-law, I got a text message from my sister,
Yeah.
and she started laughing, or he started laughing when he saw you struggling with the wall.
Ah,
And do you remember that?
I don't.
So, well, okay,
Too many
so
lamps.
so there was a wall, and you had to take the sawzall to the bottom of it, and you were like, it was hard.
Yeah, it
And
happens to me.
Yeah, he said he nailed the hell out of that wall. So he was getting a kick out of you struggling with that thing.
So your pain was somebody else's.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad he got a kick out of that.
Yeah,
That's probably what I get.
that episode. I mean, everything turned out. I mean, it was. It's hard to describe. It was absolutely beautiful. Everything.
Nice. So it was you and your brother-in-law who built it originally.
Yes.
And it wasn't built that long ago, which I think was a pretty nice.
It was 2007.
Yeah, I mean,
It was during the trend of 2 bathrooms, no bedrooms.
Yeah, it was trending back then.
Yeah.
but that was nice because everything was fairly new, nice and straight, and a great base to build off from, which we don't always get. So it was definitely well appreciated.
Yeah.
And you always seem to find critters or something inside a cabin. So you found that frog. It made me feel like we belong to the Maine Cabin Masters group.
Yeah.
They always find a way.
She freaked out when she saw that frog. I mean, from down here.
Yeah.
Because she has a huge phobia about frogs.
Very good.
And when she saw that, she looked at me like, that was in our camp?
Well, technically, it wasn't in the camp, right?
Yeah. And I figured it must have come down the step, right? I mean, how else would it have gotten in there? I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know.
Down or up?
Well, I know that we didn't shove them down the drain before you guys got there.
And
I know that didn't happen.
had you guys been using the camp, though, inertia and everything, that wouldn't have happened. So you don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
it
that thing
probably
popping
would have
up.
ended up. Yeah, it probably would have ended up in the septic tank or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a lovely thought.
But
As long as he doesn't come up through the drain, I'm fine.
I think you're okay.
That would kind of
There's grates on all the drains.
That camp,
Yeah.
what I liked about that camp, it was another instance where our team we did an amazing job. We built a beautiful camp, and then our friends Tom and Danny Burns come in and just put it over the top, and then Ashley's team decorating, like that really put it over the top.
Those guys blew it out of the park. I mean, I wasn't expecting to see what I saw.
You have a bridge in your camp. You went from 2 bathrooms to a bridge. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
We still have 2 bathrooms.
Yeah.
Hey, still have 2 bathrooms. That's important.
Yeah.
The important thing about the 2 bathrooms was if somebody was going in one bathroom, you could hear everything on the other bathroom.
Okay,
So it was like stereo.
I don't know that we needed to share that. But
We're all family now.
That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well, you must be looking forward to getting up here because you guys, one thing, you didn't lose your summer, but you also got that new camp given to you. Now you have to think about it all winter. So there's no perfect time to give your camp up and get it back, but it must have been a long winter.
It was, whenever I thought about it every day.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Every single day I've been thinking about it.
And we have a whole lot of people who want to come up and visit, so it's good that we have all those extra rooms now.
Yeah, perfect.
Where was Cabin Masters when I wasn't popular?
Yeah, and a nice, beautiful new dock for all the boats to tie up.
Oh, yeah,
to.
the dock, too. I just sent an email out to Jesse asking him when he's going to show up to put the dock back in the lake.
Perfect.
And it'll probably be in a couple of weeks. And I asked him to bring some cleats and attach some cleats to it so we can get some boats in there. And, so, we're excited to get the thing rolling.
Excellent.
If you ever want to see someone that loves their job and is good at it, watch Jesse Williams and his crew install Great Northern Docks. They have fun. I remember the first time we met him up at Dougie Dodge's camp. Like, it was like Apocalypse Now or Rambo. He comes up out of the water. I didn't even know he was there. I was like, what the? Oh, yeah. They were having fun.
Yeah. Well,
The water
excellent.
must have been cold.
Yeah.
And,
They're used to it. They're used to it. Well, we can't wait for you to make it up to Maine. We'll be seeing you very soon. Glad you enjoyed the episode. Glad you liked the finished product. And, yeah.
Send us some nice weather.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It's coming with
On
us.
its way.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
Hey, thank you so much. You guys did a great job.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Very welcome.
Hi, I'm Dean from Hero Media Arts. We've enjoyed sharing our Hero videos every week on From the Woodshed, and I'm excited to announce an expanded new venture called the Hero Media Network. We've gathered all of our heroes in one place, on a platform that highlights inspired small businesses and artists, telling authentic stories that make a real emotional connection with fans and new potential customers. Hero Media Network combines the essential marketing tools of compelling video and targeted social media into a unique opportunity to share your inspiration with an online audience. Your permanent profile page, where you can place your message and other web links, becomes even more valuable over time as new visitors discover your work and your story. Beyond the business value, we believe the Hero Network is a place where we can really see our neighbors, a kind of digital Main Street that conveys an authenticity that we're all searching for these days. Visit HeroMediaNetwork.com to see how we can help grow your business and to meet some of the dedicated, hardworking people in our communities. Thanks.
We are back with our guest today, Stephanie Gardner, broker realtor from Lakepoint Real Estate. How you doing today, Stephanie?
Good, thank you.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, so nice to be here.
Good to see ya. Well, our guest segment is always brought to us by Baxter Brewing. Ooh, this looks fun. Today we are having a Muddy Boots. Check this out. It's in a trail mix brown with some beautiful pink LL Bean boots.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, so here's to you.
Cheers to our new partnership.
Yes, this is huge.
Thank you. I just have water, but thank you.
Lakepoint branded water. That's awesome. Well,
It's Lakepoint water.
let's
Yes.
talk about the new partnership.
Let's start right there.
Very excited.
Yeah, so Lakepoint is now the official realtor real estate division of Maine Cabin Masters, huh? Kennebec Cabin Services. Someone else take this over real quick.
You name it, you're a part of it. You can find out more about Lakepoint on our website in our real estate section. Lakepoint is located in Belgrade, Maine. You guys have been there for how long? Over 15 years?
Yes. Yep.
And it's
I've
right
been here.
right
I've
in
been
the
here
village.
since it opened.
When you see the ducks, you'll see Lakepoint, right?
Yeah.
I could have sworn you guys have been here forever, like just because you guys are so well established, and I see your signs everywhere.
Good.
So you came down
Like
from
it that way.
Rangeley, is that true, or?
I did come from Rangeley. I originally got my license when I lived up there and worked for a nice little company, and then moved to Belgrade Lakes right after that and opened this business here.
Nice. So this is totally off topic, but Belgrade Lakes, that little village right there, that's 27. We used to drive that way going to our camp at Clearwater, and we always stopped at the village to feed the ducks. It was just, it was a little
Thing to do.
It was just the thing to do. We stopped, all got out. I think it was my mother, so she could take a break, or my grandmother, because typically it was like.
That was only 10 miles from Augusta. Jesus, they must have been bad.
But it was like 6 or 7 of us kids piled into one car. We'd get out, we'd feed the ducks right there, and we'd always drive by the village inn and be like, they were famous for their duck.
Right.
And we're like, are we
You can
just
take your pick right out in the yard.
Are we just fattening them up for the restaurant? But
Yeah, another tidbit of information. Ashley worked there for quite a while. She had a long career at the Village Inn.
yes,
5 or 6 years, maybe.
yeah,
Back when Charlie owned it,
Yeah.
probably.
yeah.
My new tradition is we stop at the Hero stand, the Greek food truck. That thing is amazing.
Oh yeah.
She has a building now, so there won't
Oh,
be
she
a truck
does?
anymore.
Yes.
She did. She bought the old Lazy Lab.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
So real estate in Maine right now is booming,
Especially waterfront.
especially waterfront. You guys specialize in waterfront? Do you specialize in just the Belgrade area? Like, tell us more about what you guys cover and.
Right. So typically, yes, we try to stick in Belgrade Lakes. All of us brokers here are from this area. We do obviously go outside of that to some of the different lakes like Torcy and Composite, and we get outside because right now there's not a lot of listings here. People are holding on or they've already sold. So we do kind of do a lot of Kennebec County, Franklin County, and even though Trish has gone as far as an hour and a half south of here to sell.
Trish just helped a friend of mine from Washington, D.C., Jay. I knew her parents at Sugarloaf. She reached out to me, said she was really wanting to get a property up here and move home, get a waterfront property. And Trish treated her like a queen. She said it was a great experience. So
Trish is amazing. I get really busy in the summer with listings. So typically all my buyers, Trish will handle. And she does do an amazing job. Yeah.
Nice. Now, how many of you are in the office together? How many of you are you?
There's 2, 4, 6, 12 of us.
Hey, we can't hear everything you're saying, Steph. So maybe.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's 12 of us.
There you go. Yes. That's crazy. 2 inches like that, you can lose everything.
I
know. There's 12 of you in the office, and you guys are dealing with calls coming from across the country. I mean.
Yes. Yep.
Flat out.
I received one today from Arizona. They're coming up here May 11th and want to see what's available. So, I mean, yeah, we're dealing from all over.
Why do you think that is? Like, has the pandemic fueled this? I mean, I have my theories, and what are your thoughts on that?
A lot of it, I think that Maine is considered a safe place. You can get outside. There's a lot of space. People own a lot of land. I mean, I live on 5 acres. So you can go hiking, you can go fishing in your boat. You're probably, you're not going to catch COVID by doing that. So coming up to the lakes and having a place, plus people found out that they can work from home, so if they can get a place on the lake, they can stay right here, still work and enjoy the lake life and be with their family and not have to be in the city, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like people have realized that it's either deal with the crazy world out there or deal with Maine winters, and they're saying, let's take the Maine winters and all the seasons and stuff.
You can survive one Maine winter. You can survive any.
Although this past winter isn't really a good bar to set.
Not a good example.
This was too easy for everybody.
Yeah.
Nice.
So your average customer's looking, they're not all looking for Cabin Master worthy properties. They're looking for anywhere from the high end, low end. And how do you guys satisfy that need if the camps around you guys are getting, taken away? Do you work outside in different areas? Do you reach out to other realtors?
We do. We start really scoping out other parts of Maine and what's available out there. I mean, we'll get people that are in the 300 price range. A seasonal around here is typically 500. Wow. That's just for a little seasonal cottage, right up to 2 million, so not everybody can afford, $1 million properties. So we have to reach out to other lakes, but making sure that we know what the quality of those lakes are like for people.
So seasonal, it would be like, you mean 3 seasons, not year round. So
that's correct. Yeah. Whether the road's not plowed or there's no central heating system, there's no insulation in the walls. I mean, you guys have seen that.
Oh yeah. Some people will push it.
Yeah, for sure. So, if waterfront isn't a possibility, there's other options. There's, shared waterfront. There is. There's land. I mean, what are the benefits? Can you talk about some of the benefits of that, for somebody who can't necessarily afford the waterfront, but if it's a shared experience, how does that work?
Right. Shared waterfront is great because you have access to the water and you're not paying the waterfront taxes that somebody is paying that's on the water, and having land and privacy. Sometimes that's more important to somebody. Maybe they have four-wheelers or side-by-sides that they want to go into the woods and use on their land. And there's boat access points. We have state one on Long Pond and on Great Pond. So people can still access the lake and go fishing for the day and not have to pay waterfront taxes. Or you could, go down to Great Pond Marina and, get a boat slip there, so you don't have to be on the water, but you could still come up here in Maine and do hiking and fishing and work from home.
That seems to be more popular now too. People are buying slips just to get out. You know, we've seen that on Composite Lake, and you said Great Palm Marina and the Freedom Boat Club. Like, it's a pretty neat way just to get out on the water, you know, and not have to pay the taxes.
And most of the marinas are full right now too. Yeah. So they don't have anything available either.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Yeah, what area would you say is up and coming? Like, where should people start looking? You know, I mean, obviously you're going to go more and more north.
Well, back up a few steps. Like, say somebody around here, you know, from the state is looking for a piece of property. What's the first thing you would recommend? I mean, do you recommend finding an area and then going that way, or like, what are the steps to?
Depends on the person. Like, do they have children? Do they care what school system they're in? You know, different towns have different tax rates. You know, do you care about your taxes? I mean, we get a lot of people from out of state and we'll tell them what the taxes are and they're like, that's nothing compared to what we were paying out of state. So we look at it and go, oh, this town is more expensive, but to them, it's really not. It's really getting to know what it is they're looking for. How remote do they want to be? You know, do you want to be down a dead end road that your power goes out and you better make sure you have a generator? You know, I mean, there's a lot of questions to ask somebody before you start showing them property.
I never thought about some of those questions.
It's true.
You know what? Ashley wants to camp on a long dirt road. That's all she wants.
Just put a meandering path through your woods and with a little cabin out there.
Drive around right to the spot.
Or a little she shed.
Yeah, exactly. So then you've been involved with the Belgrade Lakes Association. How does water quality affect your the real estate side of things?
So normally I would tell you that it's extremely important, you know, and being on the Belgrade Lakes Association gives us the ability to know what's going on with Great Pond and Long Pond and other lakes. I mean, we've helped East Pond clean up, you know, and get, you know, cleaner from what it was. I have to say, though, since COVID hit, people don't care what lake they're on. You can tell them what the quality of the water is, and most of them are just like, okay, I just want a place on the lake. You know what I mean? It's really crazy because we thought that it was an important feature, but people aren't caring right now.
And sight unseen, I'm hearing a lot of stories about that. Like,
we do a lot of sight unseen offers. They actually came up with an addendum for us to use for those situations. So that we're not held liable, you know, and it gives you a time frame to get up here to see the property, but you can put it under contract before.
Yeah, that's a big commitment, sight unseen.
So sight unseen, it's like kind of like there's something like the Maine lemon laws where if you, I mean, I just can't. I don't understand.
No, sight unseen means I'm offering you this, and that's it.
I am offering you this amount of money for this property. And you better hope your broker is good. And, you know, as a realtor, it takes a lot of commitment to be able to point out every flaw you see because they need to know what it is, because the last thing you want is them coming up and moving into a house and you didn't show them something.
Right.
Yeah, that's got to put a lot of pressure on you guys.
I've seen it done. I personally would not do it. But I've seen it done. I've had some listings that have gone sight unseen. You can also put a property under contract because it hits the market and maybe you can't get here for a week, you know, but you don't want to lose this property.
Gotcha.
So you put it under and you put a contingency in there that you have the ability to come up and see it before you agree. And that's fine too.
Are you seeing?
That's a little bit safer to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you seeing bidding wars on really, you know, high-end collectibles, like
on everything?
Everything.
So we're putting properties on the market at a price that we believe they will sell for, and you are getting multiple offers anywhere from $10,000 to $60,000 to $100,000 over asking price.
It's great and all for the economy, but I'm thinking down the road, like, what's it going to do for, like, that's an influx of people. You know, have you driven through Augusta lately at 4 or 5 o'clock? Like, there will be some ripple effects.
Oh, of course,
you know?
Of course.
It's an amazing world right now. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like, you know, Maine has been not neglected or ignored, but kind of off the beaten track, and people are, you know, we've always said, you know, we need more business, we need more, and it's like, careful what you know, it's coming.
Have you had any run-ins with any old timers that blame us for it? I've had a couple. Oh, you guys are making this state too popular. Blah, blah, blah.
I have not heard that.
I've heard it a couple of times.
I've heard it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But this has been happening long before we ever.
The secret's
even,
out, you know?
Yeah, before we were even born. I
Right.
mean, you know, people have been coming up here for generations and generations.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, well, like you, probably I've lived here my whole life, so.
yeah, and it's going to keep happening, and we're going to make the most of it, and it'll, you know, have its highs, have its
and
lows.
But
It'll probably be our children or grandchildren that will be affected, not so much
Right.
us. So
Sorry, Maggie. Well, I know we're really excited about the partnership because we get inundated with calls, and you know, real estate's not necessarily our big thing, you know, and like to have you guys to work with and be able to, you know, to trust you guys and send people to you guys is going to be a big help on us.
we are so excited, so very excited.
But I
This
think
is going to be.
we also need to make it very clear that, you know, this is a partnership with you, you know, to help these people find places. There's no commitment. There's
No
no
commitment,
guarantee
right.
at all that if you buy a property, it will be done by the Maine Cabin Masters.
Yeah.
That's a whole separate
Yeah.
business, a whole
And we're
separate...
not saying, you know, people don't have to work with us.
Right,
We are
right.
very knowledgeable
absolutely,
and make ourselves
absolutely.
very knowledgeable. But there are good brokers out there, and if
Right.
they're comfortable working with their broker, please.
Yeah,
work
we just
with
don't
them.
want you to be inundated with people saying, hey, you know, if
Yeah.
you get us a cabin, can you get the Maine Cabin Masters to come do it? Like we heard the partnership. We just want to make it clear for everybody and for you that there's no...
Even before this partnership, we were, every time I sold a house, somebody would say, do you think Maine Cabin Masters will come work on it? I'm like, you can ask.
Right.
Yeah, there's no easy way or to get.
No.
It really is like winning the lottery, you know. And I had a hard time saying no, or like you don't want to let people down, but it's just you got to be like, chances are slim, you know. And like we say, don't.
How do you decide?
It's quite a process, you know.
And there's a lot of different parties involved in choosing the cabins. You know, we kind of pre-scout them, and then the network has, you know, the production company has to work with them, and then the network has the ultimate say to, you know, if it's TV worthy and that type of stuff.
But logistics
Right.
is a lot of it.
Yeah.
Just as simple as logistics, you know. We have 3,000 camps in the pipeline or something crazy like that, and you know, as you go through them, like say out of 10 camps, you know, 2 are like houses that don't need any work. 1 is probably too far gone for us, you know. 1 or 2 is someone's home, you know. So it narrows it down. But you probably like, you know, half of those are like quality applications, you know. And then we got to figure out what area we're gonna work in. You know, we can't be going up north and then down east, and you know, it's all about like where we're gonna go. You know what's going on, but it's a lot of logistics and.
Yes.
And we don't really control. We control a very small part of it.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to try to narrow that down.
Now, are you finding that a lot of people are buying? I mean, I guess this is kind of in real estate in general. What's the percentage of people who buy a property and then end up doing repairs, you know, renovating it or retrofitting it some way? And do you find that more now, or is it more common in cabins for people to make it their own, or, you know?
You find, especially in the older cabins, you find most people want to make it their own. There is something they're going to change about it, if they can. You know, unfortunately, we have rules around the water on what we can and can't do, as you know. So sometimes certain things can't get done, but I would say almost every single house we sell, somebody wants to change it in some way.
Gotcha. And you've got to be pretty knowledgeable about codes and all that stuff too, a little bit, because, you know, you can't, you know, everybody shows up and says, oh, I want to put a huge deck on the water or something like that. And you know, if it's...
You need to know the rules in the area. It is our job to understand them.
Yep.
We can't answer a lot of questions about them. We usually send them to the town's code enforcement officer.
Sure.
Because if we're wrong, we're held liable
Right.
for that. That we have a lot of rules that we have to follow. We're not surveyors. We're not attorneys. We're not code enforcement officers. We are helping you to buy your property. So yeah, you need to have some knowledge of all these things, but you typically send them to the person that knows the most.
So obviously the whole pandemic and the way the world is right now is put a lot of influence on people coming to Maine because we know it's a safer place, it's quieter, and that directly influenced the cost of some buildings. But how has the price of new materials, does that directly influence properties that are already built? You know, because the replacement cost, does that send the market up?
I think the market is up extremely, especially in Belgrade Lakes right now because of material costs. So, you know, our typical residential house might be $250 is now $400. You know, and material is so expensive. I mean, we are selling a lot of land right now, whether it's on the water or off the water. But first of all, you've got to get a contractor, which they are pretty much 2 years out. They're all booked solid. My husband being one of them, and he only builds on the water. So, you know, and then the cost, your cost is only good for like that week, and it's going to change. So house prices have gone up because of that, and doing work, you know, if you're trying to get a contractor to come in to remodel your kitchen, you might be another year.
A lot of DIY going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is scary.
Yeah, like Chase's kids will have or kids in the future will have all kinds of repairs to do. There'll be a whole generation of people doing repairs.
Job security. So is it just that people are selling places? I mean, the places that are coming onto the market, like, where are these people going? Like,
it's typically second homes.
Gotcha.
So some of them are second homes. Let's say the comments are either the parents passed away and the kids just aren't going to use it, or I've heard the comment that it's crazy money. What somebody paid for something or a cottage on the water 2-3 years ago, it's almost double in price. Wow. So people are selling and just saying, you know what, I'll wait for the market to settle down and maybe I'll buy another then. But most of what we have around here is second homes. The residential housing is people that are a lot of new houses that are here. People may be leaving for family or jobs somewhere else. As we know, we don't have a great workforce in Maine, sadly. There's a lot of jobs, but it's I think harder to find jobs around here. So I don't know where people are going that are selling because I deal with so many second homes.
Yeah, we've been telling people don't sell your house unless you have something to go because you're not going to replace it for the price that you're going to sell it for.
Yeah, that's it. And that's what you have to tell people. Like, you could sell your house, but then you still have to buy something else.
Yeah.
Right.
And finding that or being, exchanging a house, it's not an easy. My husband keeps threatening to sell my house. I told him he's crazy. And we're not selling my house.
And is it, I know is this a common trend? Belgrade Lakes has always been a hot spot, historically for, years and years and years. It's a great place to be. Is this trend strong? Same thing with Coast. Coast is always nice, great area. Is this trend throughout the entire state? Is it reaching as far north as Aroostook? I know you don't necessarily work in that area, but
it seems busy no matter where you go or where you look in Maine.
Yep.
It's everybody seems to be, the inventory is really down, and it's just anything that comes on the market where you all jump and send to your buyers as fast as you can.
Yeah, it's gonna be you get a hot lead, like it's gone. I've heard stuff not even going on the market, like it just boom, it's crazy.
Sometimes we hear about them, and all you have to do is pass the word around the office, and immediately you have a buyer for it.
Sold.
Which is interesting because I it just makes me think of like Millinocket and how when the mill shut down there was just extra housing available, all that stuff, and then they did the Northwood Preserves or Monument, whatever, and I just wonder if even up there if the housing market is just booming like this.
Yeah, when we were up in Greenville, we were starting to see it. Dixie bought that investment property up there, and those little houses on the side roads. Snowmobiles are buying old capes for $30,000-$40,000, and it's cheaper than renting a hotel and spending the money that they would all the time.
Absolutely.
It's good to see for a lot of these really small towns that really, really need it.
Yeah. Nice. So Maggie has a few fan questions for you that we've compiled.
Okay.
All right.
Maggie's my 14-year-old daughter, by the way,
And our
Hi.
executive producer
and our executive producer.
and the boss.
All right. Can we be done with my intro now? All right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right. This one is from Lizzie Kaisig. My husband and I have looked for a camp for years, but of course they are flying off the market currently. What tips do you have for folks from away? What is the best way to purchase a camp if you live out of state?
Okay, so you start with having a great realtor that knows the area that you're looking to buy. Secondly, typically when we work with buyers, we want them up front to be pre-approved with a local bank in this area. Along with some people, a lot of them actually we deal with have proof of funds. We ask for that up front before we even start showing property. So if they find something they like, that we can immediately put an offer in and show they are already pre-approved or they have the money. And then thirdly, be prepared to write a sight unseen offer over asking price. If you really want it, put in what you are willing to pay for, because
You get one chance.
we had a house that came on the market like yesterday and there were 10 offers that went in on it.
So
Not one of them was asking price. They were all over. So
And so you say get a local bank.
I was going to ask the same question.
I do. Dealing with a
Interesting.
local bank, because some of the properties we have in this area, especially like say you're out on Hoyts Island, there, you can only access that island by water. There aren't a lot of banks that will put a mortgage on a place like that. Some banks won't do seasonal properties. They've got to be year round. So we know the banks in this area, what they offer, what they're willing to loan on. And I always recommend that you make sure you have a bank in this area. It's not that hard. There's plenty of them.
I never thought about that, though.
No, not at all. And what about
Well-
what about insurance companies? Should you talk to an insurance company first prior to for the same reasons? Because if you find an island, are insurance companies less likely or more expensive to insure, something like that?
If it's on the island, it can be a little tricky. A lot of people will do it right off from their own homeowner's insurance.
Gotcha.
But insurance is a little bit easier
Okay.
than getting an actual mortgage. And again, you need to know, like, mortgage companies around here know what's in a flood zone, so nobody wants a property that's in a flood zone. Your insurance is going to be a lot more. I just always push for you to have a local bank.
Good to know.
All right.
You know any banks in the Caribbean?
A few offshore accounts, maybe.
All right.
I
This
wish.
one is from. Can you two stop, please? This one is from Marina B. Baum on Instagram. Can you talk about the process of purchasing lots? How does it differ from buying a home? On average, how many acres to possibly build no more than 2 small homes?
So the difference between buying land versus a house is you still would want to do your inspections, but sometimes those inspections could mean a soil test to make sure you can get a septic, or having a well person come and make sure that, they think that you can get a well. Obviously, you've got to have access. Has the property been surveyed, recently, and where the lines are? I mean, it's kind of all the same. There's just a little different in details.
I can help you with this answer because I'm becoming an expert, which my niece probably doesn't believe. But you also need to go to the town and see, like, say you want a 2-unit, maybe you want an in-law apartment. So each town will require a different amount of acreage for that. And you also need to know things like how much road frontage is required for so much of a dwelling. So there's
That is correct.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you have to do. And then,
That's true as well for waterfront.
Well, for waterfront,
you have to
yeah.
have a certain amount of water frontage in order to separate.
Yeah, exactly.
But even lots, you have to have usually a certain amount of road frontage. Some towns require 1 acre. Other towns may say you need to have 2 acres and 200 feet of frontage.
Yeah, and then you have to go through and have it surveyed and have a deed description done and then title work done. All this good stuff.
Yeah.
How was that answer?
Good job.
Fabulous.
Looking for another job.
We're learning we're wearing many jackets these days. Not by choice, I can tell you that.
All right. Last question. If you see a camp that is obviously overpriced for the market, what is the best way to negotiate the price down to a reasonable level?
That's a fun one. So if you look at a property and you say, you know what, it's more than I'm willing to pay for it, your broker should be able to provide you with comps showing you other similar properties and what they've sold for. You submit that offer with those comps in hand, showing why you offered what you did, in hopes that the seller takes it. But in this market,
Let's be realistic.
you might want to be prepared to move on.
If you want that sucker, you pay for it.
And like I said, and sometimes you have to be willing to walk away if it's more than you're willing to pay. And we'll show you some more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people. Just, some people looking for houses for years, and some of my friends have looked at 50 or 60 houses, and you'll know. And if it's not meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. You just got to keep a good attitude and keep plowing forward.
My last friend that I showed property to, we became friends. I showed her 36 houses before she found one that she liked.
Wow.
And she just kept apologizing to me. And I'm like, this is my job. Some you show them one house, sometimes it's 36.
I mean, it's the biggest financial decision most people make, so take your time.
It's huge. It is.
After choosing a wife, choosing a house, so take your time.
First comes love, then comes marriage.
I got lucky on both, thank God.
So, do you have any more questions?
No.
Because we got a ton. She hates it when we have more questions.
I've got, this feels reminiscent to the housing bubble, a few years ago, except that the banks are much more stringent now as far as lending. And I think that's what's kind of not unnerving, but it just doesn't seem as real. I mean, before it was just prices were inflating. They were giving away money left and right. But even with the banks being so regulated, the market is still just booming. Like you said, out-of-staters, they've got the funds, whether it's through a mortgage or, privately. Do you think this is, I know, you can't predict it, but is this more of a bubble or just the new norm?
Good question.
I don't have a crystal ball.
No, absolutely.
We get questions all the time on when do you think this is going to come down? I wish I knew. I don't know that it's ever going to come down. I feel like it may flatten out.
Yeah.
But as long as those rates stay what they are, people are willing to, they have the cash, but they're like, I might as well take out a loan. The rates are just too good, So I don't ever feel like they're going to keep going up. I don't know. I mean, we were concerned when COVID hit. What's going to happen to our market? Is Maine going to be dead and we're going to have nothing going on? And it was just the opposite. I mean, I've never had a winter this crazy in my life. And I've been in real estate for 15 years. Yep. So normally our winters is when we take a deep breath and we get to relax and kind of, regroup and get ready for summer. I have had constantly 7 under contract, which in the winter for Belgrade Lakes is a lot. But, I really don't see it ever going down. Mm-hmm. I think it may level out a little bit, because it blows my mind, some of these properties, what they're selling for and what you could have got them for 2 or 3 years ago. Sure.
But a lot has changed since
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, right. Well, this has been great. Thank you, Stephanie.
No, thank you. Yes. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and you can find out more at Lakepoint Real Estate, our website.
There's a new pull-down tab on our website, hooks directly to you guys.
Yeah, and we'll be doing, announcements on social media, just keeping this partnership going. So, yeah, this is exciting, and thank you.
Good. No, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Nice to see ya.
You too. Bye-bye.
That was some interesting things I didn't think about, the stuff that she brought up.
It's true. I mean, there's a lot going on. Real estate's booming, but you really have to be prepared and ready to commit.
My dream of having a property in the Caribbean just got a lot harder.
Just find a local bank.
There we go. All right.
And a great realtor. Yeah, so now we are on to project pointers brought to us by Dervent. If you've got a small project you need some answers for, submit a short video or question to podcast@mainecabinmasters.com. Include your name, location, show us your project with a video, as much detail as you can, and we will try to answer as best we can.
Yeah, the last couple of videos have been fun. It makes it a little easier for us.
It does. Yeah, we love the videos, so keep them coming.
What's going on with today's video?
All right, so today we have some pictures of our first two. So I will read to you.
We're moving a little closer.
All right, this one is from Peggy Thehan. We have recently demoed our kitchen and dining room. The kitchen is close to its completion. We have chosen to use a natural brick backsplash in the kitchen area. What do you suggest that can be used to protect the brick and not be too glossy? We are also thinking that people may want to paint or do German schmear in the future, so we would love someone that may work for all future applications. Please advise and thank you for your time.
How do you spell German schmear?
Oh,
I got it. German schmear brick. Just for anyone that's looking, how to German schmear a brick fireplace. Thank God for Google.
Is that like stucco?
German schmear has a similar look to whitewash brick. Oh, but is more forgiving to execute. The technique adds texture and visual weight. Hold on, let me click.
Jeez, where was she last project?
The German schmear. We do the Wayne schmear. It can be the center of attention of your home, and it really set it apart.
Nice. Well, it's a beautiful photo of your finished kitchen, and they make it's the same thing that you'd use on grout sealer. It's basically a silicone spray.
German schmear is whitewashing brick. That's cool.
Oh.
You know that look you see?
Yeah.
Really cool. I don't know if you guys can pick this up at home, but go to germanschmear.com.
Stop.
That is not one of those naughty sites.
But that would have been useful in one of the projects we did this winter.
Yeah. Huh?
You know, because we were saying Ashley wanted to paint some brick, and we said no way. It's just too hard to make it look good, but a German schmear would have looked perfect, and it would have fit. But yes, I would. They make a grout sealer, a mortar sealer, a cement sealer. It doesn't give any sheen whatsoever. It's water basically, and it soaks right in, and it just seals them to keep out moisture.
I mean, if I've learned anything in the last 2 seconds, you don't want to seal it if you might want to schmear it. You know.
But it's not like a polyurethane or something like that. It just.
So you can put something over it, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
The kitchen's beautiful.
It is a beautiful kitchen.
I looked at that originally. I was like, my mind was going crazy. How do you attach your cabinets? You got to drill in with a Hilti to brick. Yeah. Like, man, what a lot of work those old brick buildings.
But it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Please send us an updated photo.
Yeah.
And let's get another photo in here too.
Oh yeah.
I love the under cabinet light.
Yeah.
I think it looks beautiful the way it is, personally.
But again, that spray, you will not notice it. And if you're worried about it, you could do a small, a test brick, one on the side, not attached to anything, and see how it looks. But I've sealed up a lot of chimneys on the outside.
But you never schmeared one yet.
I've never schmeared one yet.
We learned something today.
Yeah, we will. We're going to use that technique.
Yeah, please send us a updated, completed project to a podcast at mainecabinmasters.com.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more.
We have two more, but we have one more picture.
Two more.
This is our last picture. Okay.
Ooh, that's a nasty schmear.
This one is from Robert Cawley. Here's some pictures of the stained cedar claps on our camp located on Clearwater. Immense mold on north side of the house. Should I have house re-sided or can someone clean and restain?
I know the answer to this because I've spent some time on Clearwater, and it's called a work party. So you just have a big work party, and you invite all your family, friends, and neighbors, and
call the Morrills.
There's some cabin masters up there. They'll magically disappear.
You definitely don't need to re-side the cabin unless it is rot. If that's poking through, push a pen or a screwdriver into it, you might want to think about it. But if that's just face and superficial, you could definitely get a moldicide, a mildew remover. depending on how close to the water it is, you want to use something that wouldn't necessarily make it into the lake. Please don't let it make it into the lake.
Not clear water.
Vinegar, white vinegar and diluted goes a long ways.
You and vinegar.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's Mother Nature's cleaner.
You too.
So you clean it like if you don't pressure washing gets really iffy because you can. I've wrecked some stuff like a deck pressure washing.
Yes.
You just do it too hard, it gets all grainy.
Yes.
There are some people out there that could use a medium to sandblast it, but it might just need a good cleaning.
Yeah, I would
And then a
say.
new stain.
Yeah, one of those hard plastic bristle brushes and some vinegar and even a little dish soap.
Wax on, wax off.
Yep. Let that dry and it should be ready to be resealed.
And really, it'll be amazing what little elbow grease will do. It'll come right back to life.
Yeah. Now, if it's the whole side of the building, pressure washing might be a good option. But they have those attachments where you can add, detergents to it. You could always add vinegar to your pressure washer.
And one of Jedi's buddy has this new stuff I want to get. It's called Citrus Shield. I don't know if it works on wood, but I know I've seen it really good. He's a Manchester native, and he's selling all over the world now. But you spray it on, it literally takes everything off.
Yep.
So let us know how that goes as well.
Yeah.
Don't smear it though. You'll get in trouble.
It's so hot. All right.
And this one has no video.
Yeah. Okay.
No photos.
Nope.
I'll try to paint a picture.
This one is from Dad. Get off your phone.
I'm turning it to
Dennis
silence.
in Cincinnati. I have that fake wood decking. Both the front and back stairs are made out of it. The stuff gets so hot it'll fry your feet, and then during a slight rain, the steps become slick as ice. I've seen many a mailman go down. I've tried mixing some sand into some poly and putting a coat on, and that worked for a season. I also bought some anti-skid tape, and that was a complete fail. Any ideas to make the steps a little safer?
Could you rough it up with some 60 grit?
I was wondering that. You could, right, get a belt sander and just tear into it. Or you could go the old school method and get some asphalt shingles and roofing nail them down.
The winter?
In the wintertime.
We could put some carpet down like the Morrills.
I wonder if you could get some 60 grit sandpaper and just
Rough it, because a lot of it is really, really smooth.
Yeah.
But would walking on it in the summer?
Yeah, I don't know how that would help.
That's a tough call.
Or they do make paints
with grit in it.
With grit in it and paints for composite decking. Mm-hmm. So you could they do have an additive you could put in the stain. Again, give it a good cleaning, maybe a light sand so it will stick. And
2 years before we started working with you, Dixie, Jedi, and I were building a deck for Michael Tardif, and it's in Augusta up on the hill. And it was right when AZAC came out, and literally our tools, our knees melted to the deck. We had to go get those little green landscaping pads. And by 1 o'clock, it was a hot summer. You couldn't even pick up a drill. We had to be done. It's amazing how the sun can warm that up.
Yeah, or I wonder if you could heat it up. No. I was going to say you could almost torch it. Don't do that. I take that one back.
This one might take a little more research than what we can provide for you.
But they do make paints specifically for composite decking, and they do make additives. So if you clean it and scuff it up, that might be a good solution. If it's just the stairs.
I mean, you could sand it, but you have to clean that up later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I would do some research on an additive.
Yep.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Warn your mailman. So, yeah, please send your questions and hopefully videos to podcast at mainecabinmasters.com, and we will do all we can to give you a good answer.
Yeah. And we are back with Maggie's questions.
Finally, the easiest part of the show. There's no right or wrong answer.
I dare you to tell me I'm wrong.
Alrighty. This one is from Kathy Hardigan. The Kennebec Cabin Company method using pine for walls, is that similar to shiplap? And what's the difference between the flat side look of pine wood wall?
Yeah, we use shiplap a lot.
We use shiplap. The difference is with how it locks together. So when we say flat back, typically we mean we're using a tongue and groove V-match where the flat side is back, the
Square edge.
Square edge. And shiplap just has that overlapping half lap. We typically
I love that look.
We'll use either one.
But I like that. I like the square edge look. And I think I will never have sheetrock again in my house. I would just do that and paint it white. Or paint it whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And they get really fancy now. You can do the dime gap. Some of them will put it so when you put it together, it shows the gap, like in the old farmhouses. We used a couple cool sidings. Where was that siding? Oh, at by Dixie's house, where it looked like a reverse board and bat, and it kept you off. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do.
Yeah, and it's all Eastern white pine. There's plenty of it around. There's plenty of profiles. Check out your local lumber yards for different profiles.
And get creative,
Yeah, how you treat it is really up to you. But typically, I would say we tend to use the benefit of using tongue and groove versus shiplap is it locks together, and if it's on a ceiling, it's going to hold itself better. Whereas if it's just shiplap, it could, lift apart a little bit more. So if there's insulation or something behind the wall, we try and use V-match.
Mm-hmm. And if you depends on how fancy you are, because we don't mind face nails.
Good point.
Because we're like running gun, we're saving money and time. Like,
yep.
Nails don't bother me, but they used to. Don't get me wrong. But if you don't want to hide your nails, that's
yes. If you want to hide your nails, you can angle nail it on the tongue.
And hiding nails costs time and money.
Yep.
So we don't do it.
Okay. All right. Last question for today is from Alan LaJoey. Love camera angles when you throw stuff out windows, etc. Just how many cameras get broken or do you go through?
I'm always trying to break the GoPro.
Yeah, typically those are all GoPro shots, and the cameraman will stop us, be like, "Oh, let's put this camera." They've got clamps or stuff.
They don't really break that much though, and they take a beating.
They do. They've got plastic protective cases. The funniest story is I think it was on the Camp Agassiz one.
Yeah.
One of the cameramen thought it'd be great to get a shot of the crushed stone being dumped onto it, so they put it on the ground with nothing.
They didn't realize how much.
I think the 14 yards of crushed stone fell on top of this GoPro, and they needed to get it back. So I think they made one of the lower people,
the lowest guy on the totem pole,
dig it out and find it. But it survived.
Where were we just working? I remember someone sat when I was coming out. Like, it's a good target, and like, they put them on. They put them on like the end of boards and stuff. And, like, it's fun. Like when I remember Ashley was throwing them up out at the Salter camp, or it's a pretty cool angle.
We used to do a lot more of those like walk around, go between shots where we would pass something.
Oh yeah.
That, and I think it's kind of depends on the cameraman's style or the producer's style, or they try different things and it doesn't work out, or they've done it too much.
I feel like last year was kind of just like we were lucky enough to be working, so everyone's just like, let's just get it done. Like we didn't do all the fancy.
Yeah.
We just put our noses down, try to kind of keep separated and get stuff done.
It's a good, a couple of those. I remember that one at one time he just had us doing it over and over and over. Like the camera would pass through and we each had to do our action, and he wanted the perfect shot. It was Big Rob.
Oh yeah, I didn't really get perfect. And there was sometimes like when the drone would follow us through the house and through windows and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really cool when they get a good shot. And like I've been watching more episodes this year, and I'm amazed at like the time lapse they do at night. Like they really capture Maine like beautifully. And they did one of you were walking on the Hamel roof, and you're kind of talking on it, and the drone was above you. Like it was pretty cool.
I think the drone they're kind of doing more with. Maybe that's why they're doing less of those other shots, because the drone really can do such cool stuff.
And they're the smaller drones now.
Yep.
And they're definitely not crashing. So I take that back. Drones took a beating. GoPros are okay, but they lost a lot of drones.
Yes.
And drones are a couple $1,000s as opposed to like $400.
Yep. One made it to the bottom of the lake, but they rescued that one.
But wasn't that the one that they got up to the top and then the diver dropped it again?
Yep.
The train station. I'll never forget the sound of that one.
Going against that steel wall.
And then on Clearwater.
Yep. Up in the trees.
Our old buddy John Ball. Like we're like 2 miles from any trees, and he crashed it in a tree. I don't know what was going on. But.
And then the one at Travis Mills, they had to call Pinnacle Tree.
Yeah.
Sent a climber up to get that one.
Have you ever tried to? I couldn't fly one because everything's reverse.
Fletcher got one once for Christmas, and it's hard.
Yeah, I'm not a gamer. Like my head's like
Yeah.
I had to drive the stand-up forklift that's reversed. Like,
Oh yeah,
I got kicked off that after half an hour. Don't let me drive your drones or your forklifts.
Yep. But yeah, the cameramen do some really cool stuff, and it is fun to.
Yeah, they take the job
See
really
what they do.
serious. And that's the one thing is like, you sometimes you gotta step back and say they're doing their job too, and like they're doing a really good job. So it's just let them do their thing, and we'll have a beautiful TV show.
Yep, exactly.
Just like letting our producer do her thing.
Yes.
Beautiful podcast.
Great questions. Keep them coming. We love them. And on to the trivia question.
Dun dun dun.
All right. So last week's question was, who was the Maine Mariner coach who became the coach for the Philadelphia Flyers during the 80-81 season?
Yeah.
Was it?
You had a.
Oh, and I added a question. Who was the pride of Gardner, Maine, that played on the Olympic team in the 80s and had a great NHL career? I know the answer to that one.
I did, but now I've forgotten it.
That's Eric Weinrich.
Yeah, I knew that.
All right.
And the coach was Bruce.
No.
Bob.
Yep.
Bob Smith.
No. So.
Bob Lemieux.
No.
Bob Gretzky.
All right. Stop just naming off Bob.
Bob Bork.
Bob McCammon.
Oh, Bob McCammon. Oh, yeah. He was a heck of a player back in the day.
Never in a million years.
So if you know the answer to that, be the first person to send us an email at podcast@mainecabinmasters.com, and we will announce it during the live broadcast.
Yeah.
No.
And
Just gave the answer to last week's. Now she has to read the new one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm ahead of the game today.
Well, congratulations
Come on.
to somebody.
Yep.
And while Maggie looks for the new questions, we've
I
got
have the new question.
No, we've
right-
got some great pottery we want to show off before the question. We want to tease people with the trivia. So we have this beautiful pottery, hand-thrown mugs, Kennebec Cabin Company mugs, and
I'll play a jug tune while she's getting the trivia question ready.
we've got Crocs,
Stop.
beautiful Crocs, beautiful jugs,
Stop.
all made by Camden Pottery and the Johnson Gallery.
Those are beautiful. I don't dare to touch those.
Yeah, and each one, we kind of describe them by color, but each one's unique, so you'll get a one-of-a-kind.
Almost as unique as this question that's coming up.
Are we ready now for the question?
Yeah, we've plugged the products.
All right. What was the name of the first newspaper published in Maine?
Okay.
Interesting. So, like I said earlier, if you know the answer, send an email to podcast@mainecabinmasters.com, and I or Jen or one of us will announce the winner during the live broadcast on Monday night. So good luck with that one. I don't have a clue.
I mean, I can make a couple guesses.
It's going to have like Journal, Times, or Record in it.
Or Gazette.
Gazette.
Yeah. So, yeah, put a couple of those together, and maybe you'll get it right. And you'll get a free T-shirt.
Perfect.
But thank you for joining us. We want to thank our guest, Stephanie Gardner from Lakepoint Real Estate. Thank you to our sponsors, Nelma, Hero Media Arts, Hammond Lumber Company. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, sir.
And from the Woodshed, we'll be talking to you.